Hi Tiffany, this is Mike from Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine Restoration, and this is your pretty new Kenmore. And this is the final test before we pack her up to ship her out to you. And in this test, we're going to go over how to use the various functions of the machine. And you may already be very familiar with this machine, but if not, this will help you get going, and if you are, maybe it'll be a little brush up for you. Anyway, we're going to show you how to wind the bobbin, how to thread the machine, how to work the various controls, and basically just how to use the machine. So we're going to start by winding a bobbin, and you'll find your bobbin below the slide plate here, which doesn't slide on this machine. It lifts up and pops out. You can reach in and grab the little latch of the bobbin case through this opening. It's actually a pretty good sized opening compared to most machines. And as long as you're holding the latch, your bobbin's not going to drop out. So let go of your latch, and here's your bobbin. And I'm going to take off this little bit of thread that's left on there. No reason at all to wind new thread over old. Let's see. To wind a bobbin, put your spool on the spool pin and go around this bobbin tensioner device all the way around. Go between the spring-loaded discs all the way around and down to the bobbin winder. Put the thread through any one of the holes. Then put the bobbin on the bobbin winder and press the latch in towards the center of the bobbin. And you notice that this button popped up. That is your reset button, because when you push the latch in, it declutches the machine automatically. You don't have to turn the hand wheel to declutch. And as the bobbin fills, it's going to slowly push this latch further and further and further out until when it's full, it pops away and turns off the bobbin winder. So we can press that in, and holding the thread that you put through one of the holes, give it a little gas and plug it in. I always unplug your machine when you're not using it. Let's see. Okay, holding the thread. Oh, and by the way, yeah, never mind, doesn't matter. Make a nice even bobbin line. Okay, that should be plenty for our test. So snip off that little tail of thread that you were holding. And pop the latch out away from the bobbin. Reset the machine by pushing the button down. And with the thread coming off the top of the bobbin in this direction, drop the bobbin into the bobbin case and direct the thread up into this little slanted slot in the side of the bobbin case, and up under this flat leaf spring here, which is your lower tension, which is just a little bit much. It's going to break the thread like that. Tuck the thread into that little slanted slot up under the leaf spring. Hey, that's enough, buddy. And up under that flat spring until you feel it click into place. Now you'll feel a little bit of drag on your thread when you pull on it. With this positioning finger pointed up, hold the latch and slide the bobbin in onto this post in the center of the bobbin race. And you'll see the little cutout there that the positioning finger goes into. Keeps your bobbin case from spinning while the machine runs. Reset your slide plate in back end first. Slip the two little springs under the edge of the needle plate. Then just snap it down. To thread the machine, put the spool on the spool pin and go into this thread guide on the back here and across the top of the machine through this slot that's made for it. Down between the discs of the tension assembly, all the way around till you catch the check spring, and keep on going until your thread goes into the notch at the top of the tension assembly. From there, you're going to go through the take-up lever from right to left. Take-up lever is this thing that goes up and down while you're sewing. Down to the thread guide on the front. The thread guide on the needle clamp. And through the eye of the needle from the front towards the back. Your needle, by the way, goes in with the flat side of the shank facing the back of the machine. Holding your thread loosely, you're going to turn the hand wheel towards you one full revolution. The needle's going to take the thread down where the hook will pick it up, wrap it around the bobbin, and bring up your lower thread. Here's your lower thread. Put your thread between the toes of the presser foot and towards the back of the machine. This is your feed drop. If you want to do any sort of sewing where you move the fabric yourself instead of the machine moving it, like if you're going to do darning or patching or machine embroidery or write your name or whatever you're going to do, you want to drop the teeth of the feed dogs so they don't come up high enough to touch the fabric and move it. This is your feed dog drop. Push this side, the feed dogs drop down, and now while you sew, you're in control. If you're going to free motion sew, you'll also want to take all the pressure off your sewing foot. So you push the collar on the outside of your presser foot pressure adjustment, and the center pops up, and now there's very light pressure on your fabric and there's no teeth of the feed dogs and you're in control. When you're ready to go back to regular sewing, push the center piece down somewhere around 2.5, close to 3, and bring your feed dog toggle back to its horizontal position. This is your stitch length here, this outer knob. I'm going to leave it on about 12, but goes from 0 to 6, 6 being your longest stitches. This center knob, but when you're doing reverse stitches, this will be your adjuster if you want to change your stitch any make it a little longer, a little shorter. I believe SM and L stands for short, medium, and long, but you can look that up in your user manual. This knob here, the outer knob is your stitch width. It goes from 0 to 4. 0 being, of course, straight stitch. And this inner knob is your stitch selector. You select your stitch pattern there. The orange marked stitches are your regular stitches, just goes one direction, right on through. The white markings are your reverse and stretch stitches. And for those, you want to have your the variegator knob in the center here. You want it with the letters up. If you want to go back to the regular orange stitches, then you turn this knob around till you have the orange dot at the top. Now you're sewing just one direction. So let's start with the orange and medium short stitch and straight stitch. This is your reverse lever here. You need to back up. This is your tension assembly, and turn it to, this is your indicator mark here, this little white dot. You want to be on 3 or maybe a tiny bit less than 3 for regular thread, regular fabric. If you're doing something heavier or something lighter, you may need to adjust it up or down a little bit. Just take a look at the back of your fabric, and if it looks loose and loopy, you want to add a little more tension. If it's looks too tight, then let it off a little bit, but just in little increments at a time. Don't go hog wild. I'm going to put it on 3, maybe even a smidge more than 3. We're going to sew some denim here. And so put your fabric under the presser foot, lower the presser foot using the lever on the back. And now we'll be sewing a straight stitch. Give it a little gas and off we go. You can go fast or you can go slow. Or medium. Yeah, that looks pretty well balanced. Let's add some stitch width with the needle up out of the fabric. Let's just take it all the way up to 4. Now we're doing a zigzag stitch. And that's a nice looking zigzag stitch. Then you have all your other various stitches. You have a blind stitch and a multi-stitch, zigzag, a few others. Now we're going to go over to reverse stitches. So go around till the white lettering is facing up on this center variegator knob. And let's see, going to narrow the stitch width to about 2, and always take your needle up out of the fabric before you change those settings. I should. I think we're going to want to be on about 12. We'll see. Now we're going to do a reverse stitch, reverse zigzag stitch. As you can see, the fabric backing up slightly on each stitch, so I can lay down a second stitch next to the first one. Yeah, that's looking Let's do one more. Just for fun. We'll do... I'm not sure what you call this one that looks like a bridge truss. But it's like a zigzag with a straight line above and below it. I'm sure it's got a name. That if I were a seamstress, I would know. With the needle up out of the fabric, we're going to go all the way over to the cam setting. And obviously that's for when you want to use the stitch pattern cams. This chrome lever right here moves the cam follower, the little finger that reads the knobs on the cam. Push that chrome lever in and it moves the lever back out of the way so you can lift out your cam. This one is looks like a scallop stitch. When you put your cam in, you can see that there are 4 holes in the back of the cam. Line one of the holes up with the alignment pin in there. You'll see it, it'll be obvious. And now we're going to be sewing scallops, and I'm going to shorten the stitch length down. I'm not going to go as short as we could if I took the time to put a satin stitch foot on. The satin stitch foot has a channel underneath, so when you sew really close and it makes the thread kind of hump up a little in the middle, it makes it so it doesn't jam up and dam up in front of the presser foot. That slightly thicker part can just slide under in that channel. Okay, we're on stitch width of 2 and stitch length almost into the orange mark of your satin stitch area. Let's see how that does. Okay, I'm going to go a little shorter. If the thread dams up in front of the presser foot, it stops the fabric from moving, and you keep making stitches in the same spot, and the thread starts to make a big ball underneath the needle plate, and you have to stop and cut it out and maybe rethread your needle, and it's just a little bit of hassle that you can avoid by using a satin stitch foot for really close stitches. I'm going to go even a little bit shorter. But yeah, that's working great. Making a nice scallop stitch. Some of the stitch pattern cams are double-sided. And these ones do a reverse stitch. Which makes some little hearts. First I'm going to take the needle up out of the fabric, push back the cam follower, the cam out. It doesn't really matter which hole you put it in. I think that you can put it in so that line up your alignment pin. Okay. I think you can put it in so it starts right at the beginning of the pattern, so you don't start with a half a heart. I think I'm going to take the stitch length up a bit. For starters, we'll go up to 12, but I may have to change that. But we're still on the cam setting. Cam is in. We're on 12 on the stitch length and 2 on the stitch width. Your user manual has a whole section in it that will show you how to make the different stitch patterns. But basically that's it. I'm going to take that double-sided cam out, and I'll just put back this single-sided scallop stitch cam in. Okay, now we're going to go away from the cam. Going to go back to, I'm going to take the needle up out of the fabric so we don't bend the needle. We'll go back to straight stitch, and then back to regular sewing. And that is your new machine. You'll find an oiling diagram in your user manual. Oil your machine after every 8 or so hours of use. If you use it 2 hours one day and 6 hours the next day, oil your machine. If you bring it out of its wherever you keep it to sew, and it's been 3 months or more since you've use the machine, go through and oil it before you start. Oil is what keeps everything moving freely, and you want it to move freely. So that's it. Thank you so much. You got a heck of a machine. What a beauty. Such a fine machine. And we'll get her packed up and ship her home to you. So thanks.